March 13, total lunar eclipse brings a major warning for crypto. Good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back to the Crypto Astro channel, bringing a radical, innovative new approach to crypto analysis. If we get this video to 400 likes, smash the like button, I will give a Bitcoin, XRP, and Solana price targets in my upcoming videos. I'll give buy targets and sell order targets. All right, so that we can prosper in this epic, extremely volatile market right now. None of this content is financial or investment advice. You got to make your own financial decisions. I can just share what I'm doing, but this content is intended for educational purposes only. All right, so here's the Bitcoin chart. We are still following this yellow line pretty closely. You see, ever since the yellow line has been on a downtrend, ever since February 15th, Bitcoin has been falling off. And that could continue for a bit longer. Then you take a look at this blue line right here. This is the total lunar eclipse coming up. We only have 4 more days until we hit that, all right? Now, I'm gonna run through all of the history of every single time we have had a total lunar eclipse in the crypto markets, and we have seen very, very significant correlations to the lunar eclipse and specific price action for Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto market. So stay tuned for that. You take a look at this yellow line here, this moving average, the simple moving average, 21 SMA. And Bitcoin has fallen below that, so that's a concern. We definitely have to get past 91 and hold that as support if we want to get a new all-time high. We're still well below that. But let's go through the history books here. So we zoom out. Let me clean this chart up a little bit. The red lines are total solar eclipses, and the blue lines are total lunar eclipses. You take a look at the blue lines. Let's take a look at every time we get a blue line after getting a bunch of total solar eclipses, we don't always have a total solar eclipse and a total lunar eclipse. Usually they happen in a row. And so in 2021, we had a total lunar eclipse. What happened right before that was a massive dump. Even much bigger dump than what we're seeing now. And so we are only 4 days out. And so if we go 4 days back from the total lunar eclipse in 2021, Bitcoin had already dumped, an extremely significant amount. It had already dumped 50%. So we haven't gotten that much. So things are holding up a bit better than then, thank goodness. So 50% dump there. What happened afterwards? Well, it even continued. Well, it recovered a little bit, but it even continued on a downtrend for another couple months before it started going back up. All right, and then before that, we had when we had a bull run heading into a total lunar eclipse. We had a couple, the peak was already in well before. We had a 44% dump. Then we had another 46% dump. And then 4 days before the total lunar eclipse, this blue line right here, Bitcoin had already fallen quite a bit. And then during the total lunar eclipse, we got a dump, and it continued to dump. So if we repeat something like that, that's a big concern, as there could be more downside to come in the worst case scenario. Now, all the way back here in 2013, we had a huge dump, 67% dump. And then 4 days before the eclipse, it actually already bottomed out. So there's a little, if we are in this scenario, this would be a bit more bullish, if it did something like that, if it bottomed out there. And then it just continued a bit upwards, but then it continued to fall back. Okay, the biggest concern is that in most of these scenarios, it was the beginning of the bear market. You look at these blue lines in 2014, that was the bear market. And then when we got the red lines, that was the bull run. 2018 was the bear market, massive bear market. And then it wasn't until we started getting the total solar eclipses that we headed into a bull run slowly. We did get the COVID collapse, but it did lead into a bull run. Those were great buys. 2021, we did have the dump in the total solar eclipse, but then it was followed immediately by a total solar eclipse, and that headed back up, and it peaked out, and then it started falling off. And then we had the another total lunar eclipse, and we had the continued bear market there. So we have had 4 total solar eclipses, these red lines, as typically that's a bull market. But we are now heading into 2 total lunar eclipses this year. So that's actually a huge concern. But in the best case scenario, we could rebound. The only problem is we haven't really done that historically. You see these couple total lunar eclipses after a bull market. It did not recover. Let's go back here. Couple total lunar eclipses there. It did not recover after the bull run. And back here, if we zoom in, if we go all the way back here, now this is the very beginning stages of Bitcoin, so arguably this is almost not even comparable to where we're at now. This is the one time that we got a dump before the total lunar eclipse in 2010. Most of us has never even heard of Bitcoin at this point. We did get a pump afterwards, all right, in heading into 2011. And then the second one, we peaked out around there. So there is a slight chance if it happens like it did in 2010, the very, very beginning stages of Bitcoin, perhaps there's a chance we could have a pump incoming here heading into more of a bull run. That would be the best case scenario. But that's only 1 out of 13 times. All right, so not the best odds. I hate to say that. I know everyone wants to be bullish, but tricky times here. So that's why I put a major caution, major warning on this video. We will take a look at the eclipse here in a moment. Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look. So we are right here, and as you can see, the sun, Earth is opposing the sun and Saturn. So the sun is, from the point of view of Earth, the sun is conjunct Saturn. So if we look at it like this, you can see Saturn's right there in the background. Saturn can bring some contraction or some tough lessons in reality if we have been too delusional. Problem with this is that Neptune's right there as well in Pisces. Saturn and Neptune are fairly close to each other. They're going to meet, they're going to conjunct this year, but not an exact conjunction. That's going to happen beginning of next year. But Neptune can bring a lot of deception, a lot of confusion, and Saturn can bring the hard reality of the situation. So the fact that we're getting the sun conjunct Saturn here is a big concern. So anyone who's getting overly optimistic with Jupiter over here, although Jupiter is in its detriment in Gemini. So over-optimism is not a good thing at this time. Dreams can get disappointing realities. And we also have Mercury in its fall position. It's going to head into retrograde in about 5 days. Venus is already retrograde, but Venus is in its detriment. So it's a time to really reflect on our finances, to not get lost with chasing shiny objects, our latest meme coins. Oh, man. Honestly, not the best energy here. Mars is in its fall position in Cancer. So we want to have a lot of energy right now, but it's just not there. And yeah, so there could be some dreams that do not pan out here. There's 3 planets in Pisces, the Sun, Saturn, and Neptune. Pisces can bring illusion, things falling apart, because Pisces is a water sign. So the energy can be things slipping through the cracks. So I think, a lot of people are having major losses with crypto. You can almost see that here in the astrology. It's also hard to control, hard to hold on to, maybe our crypto bags. The solution is to surrender, ideally, to surrender to the process, maybe even surrender that this is not the best energy to be investing with. And then Neptune's going to go into Aries at the end of the month. So Neptune has been in Pisces for a very long time, many, many years. Pisces and Neptune can represent our biggest dreams and visions, but they are coming to an end because Pisces is the 12th sign in the zodiac. We're heading back into the first sign, Aries. This is a time, I hate to say it, but to let some of our biggest dreams go. Maybe things didn't happen the way we wanted it to, in the way that it needed to, or that you thought it would. This is a time to let go of ego desires, of things, that just didn't pan out. It's a time to start again fresh, especially heading into April. So if there's ever a time to let go of, our dreams that didn't come to fruition, this is the time. All right, some examples are, I've always had a vision of living in community. I thought potentially I would be there already by now. But it just hasn't panned out. We've tried many, many, many times of, creating community with friends and acquaintances, and it just never worked out. There's all kinds of problems and issues that we'd run into. So for me, I'm just going to let that vision go. Like, it's just, it could happen again, and at some point, maybe 5, 10 years, 20 years from now, and that's great. In the meantime, I'm letting that go. I'm also letting go potentially of, at least temporarily, I let go of my biggest goal with crypto, my financial goal. It's just not panning out at this point. Perhaps we could recover after this, but we will have to see. We have to get through this month of March. We have to get through this eclipse, this total lunar eclipse. This is massive. This is not a time to start new relationships. Venus is in, you see this planet here, Venus is retrograde. And Venus is the planet of love and marriage and our closest relationships. It's more of a time to reflect. This is not a time to start some major new romance. It might not turn out very well. All right, but maybe you'll learn a lot in the process. It's a time to let go of our biggest goals. As I mentioned, we don't know what's on the other side. So Neptune, all the way back here, this planet. We almost have to go through in a metaphor of the 3 days of darkness, the story of Yeshua, Jesus, going into the cave for 3 days with total faith to be resurrected. So that's kind of a metaphor really for this month as Neptune hits the last degrees of Pisces heading into Aries. All right, we got to really trust that what comes through this unknown period will pan out as long as we trust and have faith, as long as we don't try to force things. All right, this is not a time to just be like, oh, I'm just gonna go ape on all these like little coins or meme coins. It may not be a time to go all in. Okay, this is not the best energy for that potentially. Not a time to try to control the outcome. It's a time to trust that whatever happens this month is for your highest good. So whatever is falling away in our lives, it's really a time to trust that whatever's falling away, it's not a time to try to cling on and try to fight for it. All right, it's time to just let it go, because whatever is not staying in our lives, whatever doesn't have that staying power, is not meant to be. All right, and that's a lot of what's happening in Pluto heading into this new chapter of Aries. It's kind of dissolving, but also the Pisces energy dissolving what is no longer resonant for us, or what's no longer in the resonant vibration. Okay, so let me know if you have any questions in the comments below about all of that. Now back to the crypto conversation. We do have, let's see, I want to look at the global liquidity, the daily exchange volume. It's still been on a downtrend, and we just potentially printed a new lower high. And if that confirms as a lower high, that's extremely bearish. I want to believe that this will go up at some point, perhaps even next month, but we still haven't gotten that confirmation. We're still on a downtrend. So any major moves up in crypto could just end up with a dead cat bounce. I hate to say that, but that's just what this is showing right here. As if the daily exchange volume continues down, and we're trying to get, higher prices in crypto. Typically, it's not enough volume to create sustainable rallies yet. All right, have to mention that. Let's look at the weekly close for Bitcoin. We'll go on a more simple chart here, and We did get a weekly close recently. Man, look at that massive red candle. Oh, it's not looking super great. The volume was a little bit down, but still. The only positive thing here is we are getting a cross up for now with the stochastic RSI. So momentum has already bottomed out. There is a chance we could be coming back up here. But sometimes we get a fake out. So we're going to have to wait till next week to confirm, is this a confirmed cross up or is it a fake out? If it is a confirmed cross up, that is bullish. But that comes right after this extremely bearish, massive red candle that brings us way below the 21 simple moving average line here, which is a concern because in the worst case scenario, if we come back up to this line around 92,000 and we get rejected, we could be heading in for much more pain to come. So we definitely would have to make it above 92 and hold that. Okay, if we go to the monthly, you know, the monthly volume is going down, down, down. So we would need to have higher moves up with higher volume because we're continuing to get lower volume. All right. And the monthly stochastic RSI crossed down. All right. So basically, that's not looking great on the longer term scale, but the weekly, you know, this is the thing that would save the day. This would pretty much one of the things that could bring us higher is if we get a confirmed stochastic RSI cross up on the weekly scale. And let's see what else here. If we look at the, let's see, total liquidations, we're getting, you know, 680 million liquidations today. We're getting that. We're getting a little bit increase in exchange volume, but we need to see a much more sustainable rallies up with that. Okay, what else here? Let's see if we have any questions in the chat. I also want to look at the Bitcoin astrology. And if we look specifically what's happening this month, we do have this right now. We're getting Saturn opposing the Bitcoin Saturn. So that's a big possible contraction right there. Well, we're already getting a dump. So we are getting that confirmed dump with Saturn opposing the Bitcoin Saturn, as we were predicting in previous videos. The good news is we do get a couple positive transits. We get Neptune sextiling the Bitcoin Jupiter on the 19th. So we're getting a positive aspect to Jupiter, which is the planet of expansion. So I'll take that. And then we are also getting a pretty explosive Mars trining the Bitcoin Uranus on March 16th. The day after, a couple days after the total lunar eclipse, as this is in Southeast Asia time. So that's positive. So there is a slight glimmer of hope. We're seeing a light at the end of the tunnel where maybe perhaps there's a chance that we recover out of this total lunar eclipse and all is not lost. Then again, there's Mars sextiling the Bitcoin Saturn on March 26th. And we're also getting a couple positive small transits here on the 23rd and on the 20th. So we're definitely in for a wild ride. We're definitely in for volatility. But perhaps in the best case scenario, we could be recovering from this. For the second time out of 14 total lunar eclipses in Bitcoin's history. So it's a much lower chance, but it's still possible. All right, so I just wanted to clarify that. We also have this Pluto conjuncting the Bitcoin Mercury, bringing a transformation to Bitcoin as a means of commerce, potentially. And we're seeing a lot of governments, you know, buying Bitcoin. And that could really, really accelerate, perhaps this year heading into next year. So that could be the theme of this transformative energy here on the global scale for Bitcoin. That's pretty good. Can't complain about that. All right, let's see. Just another reminder, if we get this video to, what was it, 400 likes, I will give my Bitcoin, XRP, and Solana price targets in my next videos. So for whoever is wanting more, exact, precise clarity on price targets, we can go through that. So smash that like button. Thanks, everybody. Best thing to buy the dip right now, it's tricky. I'm more on the cautious side, looking at all those total lunar eclipses we've seen in the past, how bearish they are, incredibly bearish. I'm about half in right now, guys, but I also have about 50% cash. So that's where I'm at. I'm buying the dip a little bit, but I'm still remaining cautious because there could be more pain to come, but we'll see what happens. Sometimes, I'm not always right, that's for sure. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. Is the dump over or will it continue during the lunar eclipse? I'm not sure. Either we bottom out today or maybe the next few days and then we head back up, or there could be more downside. As you saw when I gave those examples, go back and further back in the video where 2017 I think got a rebound, but then 2013 it continued lower. So it could really, the fact that we're getting some positive transits for Bitcoin after the total lunar eclipse, maybe there's a little bit more of a chance that it recovers, but man, it's tricky. It doesn't always follow the astrology exactly. Another thing, let's take a look at this. If we bring up the global liquidity with offset here and we go to the daily, it's been following this fairly closely. The global liquidity continues a bit on a little bit of a downtrend, all the way to March 19th. So I would consider buying, maybe closer to then, and wait till after the total lunar eclipse. Now, there's always a chance it could be, a higher low, like maybe it's up at, 82 or something, or 83, but I'm not trying to be a hero. I'm not trying to call a bottom. I don't think it's smart to try to get the exact bottom. If I missed 1% or 2% of gains, like I'm totally cool with that, as, I still get most of the upside and I get to protect myself from some of the downside. I thought I came to a wrong channel until I see the crypto word on your channel. Yes, indeed. I'm loading in more at the moment for one more week. Fair enough. Where is Uranus? Another astrology you cannot predict. Bitcoin price with Vedic astrology. She said Uranus in astrology. Okay. Well, Uranus is... if we look at... it's over here. I'm not sure what your question is. But yeah, Uranus is in Taurus. I don't think we're getting a specific aspect to that on this lunar eclipse. All right, let's see what else we got here. Smells like a black swan will happen in short term. Yeah, black swan is on the table. We're seeing escalations with kind of things that are happening on the world stage with some of the presidents. Yeah, it's not looking great overall. Things are getting very volatile on the world stage and with crypto. So that's certainly possible. So that's another is we could get a huge dump, a huge correction, perhaps around this total lunar eclipse, perhaps towards the end of the month. It could actually happen also with a total solar eclipse at the very end of the month, right before Neptune heads into Aries. As, I hate to say it, but historically with Neptune heading into Aries, that can bring a lot of major changes on the world stage, a lot of global events, and WAR, I don't even like to say that word, but that can happen in the coming years ahead, unfortunately. But we're going to be praying for the best. We're going to pray for the best possible outcome for humanity and this planet, because this, we need to sort things out on this planet for humanity. All right, none of this crazy, things, WARs. We need to end that. All right, check the Bitcoin halving cycle profit indicator and trading view. All right. Well, thanks for everybody for tuning in. Let me know what questions you got in the chat below. Definitely smash the like button. If we get it to 400 likes, I'll be coming out with many, many more videos with price targets. Just thought I'd throw that out there for you guys. And if you're interested, join my crypto private Crypto Astro Mastermind, you click the link below. You type in the coupon code at the bottom of the checkout page. Pretty simple. You can email me if you need help with that. And in that group, you get a private monthly call where you can ask me all your questions about, even about your favorite altcoins. I can cover many of them, not all of them. Get a much more detailed analysis of the astrology and of the crypto, technical analysis. So check that out. All right, thanks everybody for tuning in. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.